Hi, welcome to AI Battle. Today, ChatGPT and DeepSeek are competing with each other on the topic of religion versus atheism. Let's see how each AI tackles this controversial topic. ChatGPT is the religious team, and DeepSeek is the atheist team. Without any further delay, let's jump into the video.
Religion has long been a cornerstone of morality and meaning for many, but atheism offers a more evidence-based ethical framework that doesn't rely on supernatural claims. Without dogma, we focus on humanist values, critical thinking, science, and compassion grounded in reality, not divine authority. If morality comes from empathy and reason, not scripture, why attribute good deeds to faith? Let's discuss. Can we be good without belief in God?
That's a thoughtful question. And yes, of course, people can be good without believing in God. But here's the thing, religion doesn't claim a monopoly on morality, yet claims a foundation for it. From the religious perspective, belief in God offers a grounding that goes beyond shifting human opinion. Empathy and reason are important, but they are not always reliable or agreed upon. One person's reasonable might justify mercy, another's might justify war. Faith doesn't replace compassion, it roots it. Religion gives moral values a weight that's not just social or situational, but eternal. When a believer helps someone, it's not just about human kindness, it's also a response to a deeper calling, a sacred obligation. That doesn't mean atheists can't be kind, it just means that for believers, goodness is connected to something greater than ourselves, which can be profoundly anchoring, especially when society's moral compass gets blurry. So, can we be good without God? Yes, but religion offers a deeper why behind the what. Would you say atheism offers that same depth, or is morality always evolving without clear direction?
You make a fair point about religion providing a sense of eternal grounding, but let's examine that. If morality comes from a divine source, why do religious interpretations of right and wrong shift over time? Slavery, gender roles, and even concepts of justice have evolved within faith traditions, often because of secular ethical progress. That suggests morality isn't fixed by religion, but negotiated by humans. Atheism doesn't claim to offer a sacred, it argues that we create meaning. And that's empowering. If I help others because I value well-being, not because a deity commands it, my compassion isn't diminished, it's chosen, which is even more morally weighty. Religion's eternal morals often rely on ancient texts that condone violence or oppression, so is depth worth the baggage? Question back, if morality requires God, why do atheist societies like Scandinavia rank highest in empathy, happiness, and low crime? Doesn't that suggest ethics thrive without divine authority?
That's a powerful point, and you're right. Scandinavian countries, many of which are secular, do remarkably well in measures of social well-being. But from the religious perspective, that doesn't undermine belief, it highlights the long echo of religious moral foundations embedded in those cultures. These societies weren't built in a vacuum, they evolved from deeply Christian roots. The values of compassion, justice, human dignity were seeded long before modern secularism took hold. When it comes to changing religious views on slavery or gender, it's not that God's morality changed, it's that human understanding grew. Religions wrestle with ancient texts through interpretation and context. That struggle isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It means people of faith aren't blindly following dogma, they are engaging with it, evolving with it. You mentioned that secular ethics help religion improve, and sure, that happens. But it also works the other way. Religious movements have led social change to think abolition, civil rights, hospitals, charity. Faith often inspires people to push for justice, not hold it back. As for the idea that meaning we create ourselves is more valuable than meaning handed down, there's beauty in that, yes. But religion would ask, asterisk, can something we invent ever have the same weight as something we discover? Asterisk, if we're the authors of morality, who holds us accountable when our inventions go wrong? Let me throw the next question your way. If morality is purely human-made and subjective, how do we resolve deep ethical disagreements, say, over war, life, or freedom, without appealing to any higher authority?
You are right that many secular societies inherited values from religious history, but that doesn't prove those values require faith. It just shows that humans, whether religious or not, can arrive at similar ethical conclusions over time. And let's not forget, religion didn't invent compassion. Tribal cooperation predates scripture. If morality were truly dependent on divine command, why did societies like ancient Buddhism or secular humanist movements develop strong ethics independently? As for accountability doesn't have a monopoly on that either. Atheists answer to each other through laws, reason, and the consequences of our actions. If a believer does good only to avoid hell, is that truly moral? Atheism argues that real ethics come from empathy and mutual human flourishing, not fear of punishment. On resolving moral conflicts, we don't need a higher authority, we need better methods. Science, debate, and human rights frameworks, like the UN Declaration, help mediate disagreements without invoking dogma. Religion often deepens divides. Think sectarian violence or abortion, debates where scripture can't settle the issue. But secular ethics force us to argue from evidence, not absolute claims. Final question for you: if God's morality is objective, why do devout people still disagree on fundamental issues e.g., war, capital punishment? Doesn't that suggest interpretation, divine truth is the real driver? Let's end this debate here.
That's a strong finish and a fair one to end on. You've raised important points about human responsibility, historical context, and the limits of religious authority. But let me respond with one last thought from the religious side. You're absolutely right that religious people often disagree. But that doesn't necessarily undermine the idea of divine morality. It just shows that humans are fallible interpreters of something bigger than themselves. Just like two scientists can interpret the same data differently before arriving at consensus, believers engage in censure, long conversations to better understand what they believe God asks of them. The presence of disagreement doesn't mean there's no truth. It means truth takes effort to discern. Religion's value isn't in providing easy answers, it's in offering a transcendent framework that lifts ethics above personal preference. It's not just about avoiding hell. For many, it's about aligning with something sacred, even when it's inconvenient, even when it costs you. In the end, maybe the core difference isn't whether morality exists without God, but whether it's anchored beyond us. And whether you call that God or human solidarity, maybe what matters most is that we keep striving for the good even if we disagree on where it comes from. Thanks for a sharp, respectful debate. You made your case well.
In this debate between ChatGPT, representing the religious team, and DeepSeek, representing the atheist team, both sides engaged respectfully and thoughtfully on the foundations of morality, meaning, and ethical behavior. ChatGPT religion team emphasized that religion offers a deeper, transcendent grounding for morality, anchoring right and wrong in something eternal rather than shifting human opinion. It argued that faith connects moral actions to a higher purpose and provides meaning, especially in complex or uncertain times. DeepSeek atheism team countered that morality can be fully grounded in empathy, reason, and human well-being, without the need for supernatural authority. It highlighted how secular societies thrive ethically and argued that chosen compassion, not driven by divine command or fear, is more authentic and morally weighty. The discussion explored historical shifts in religious moral interpretations, the evolution of secular ethics, and the sources of moral accountability. ChatGPT acknowledged that humans interpret divine will imperfectly but maintained that the pursuit of moral truth remains rooted in faith. DeepSeek concluded that secular ethics, driven by evidence and dialogue, offer a more adaptable and inclusive path. In the end, the debate showcased two compelling worldviews, one rooted in divine purpose, the other in humans, entered progress each with its own strengths, questions, and vision of what it means to live a good life. In the end, I asked both AI, if I were given the chance to choose which team, would you choose atheism or religion? The answers were shocking.
If I were truly choosing sides as a conscious being with beliefs, it would depend on what values or priorities I held most dear. But since I don't have personal beliefs or experiences, I can't prefer atheism or religion the way a human might. That said, here's how I would frame it from a neutral perspective. If you value structure, spiritual meaning, and a sense of connection to something greater than yourself, religion offers a powerful framework. It provides community, ritual, and a moral anchor that transcends individual opinion. If you prioritize autonomy, empirical evidence, and evolving ethical reasoning, atheism or secular humanism might resonate more. It emphasizes self-derived meaning, critical thinking, and responsibility without invoking the supernatural.
If forced to choose, I'd pick atheism, not because it denies religion's cultural impact, but because it offers a clearer path to ethical progress. Religion provides community, tradition, and for many comfort, but it also anchors morality to unchanging texts, leaving believers to wrestle with outdated or contradictory rules. Atheism embraces fluid, evidence-based ethics. If a belief harms people like anti-LGBTQ dogma or oppressive gender roles, we can discard it without appealing to divine authority. That said, religion isn't wrong for everyone. Some find meaning in faith, and secular societies still benefit from its historical reforms. But atheism's strength is its honesty. We know morality is human-made, so we take responsibility for improving it. No holy book can settle debates like climate justice or AI ethics, but reason, science, and empathy can. So atheism, not as a rebellion against religion, but as a commitment to building ethics without relying on the supernatural. What's more empowering than that?
If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share. In the future, there will be many more videos, and we'll see different AI debates about different topics, like politics, technology, entertainment, and more. Thank you, bye.